All right. Howdy, friends. Your old friend, Dr. Johnny Black here, getting ready for Saturday Night Solid Gold. And we got a special show this week. It's always a special show. But this week, we're doing something a little bit different. You may remember about a year ago, I had an opportunity to go to WT and speak to the kids about Bob Seger. And we did it again yesterday with the same class, different students. And this time we talked about Heartland Rock and roll music. They have a great instructor. Daniel Klain is joining us. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the Klain.
That's correct.
Welcome aboard, Daniel, and tell folks a little bit about the class itself and what folks get to do, what the students do every semester.
So this class is actually an evolution of a previous class that we did, and the course is called English 1101. And the idea behind it is it's a 5-week course, a 1-hour credit, but we always want to come up with different topics. And so last fall, I had the idea to do the Bob Seger class. The previous spring, I was doing a class on the Wizard of Oz, and before that, I did a class on Batman. So it's an evolutionary class. And so I just thought I would take a chance and do one on Bob Seger. It was a huge hit. We had a lot of fun. And so what's happened this semester is I've taken the 1101 class and actually expanded it to make it a sophomore literature class. So when we were looking at topics for the sophomore literature class, I wanted to do one on Heartland Rock. So we wanted to include Bob Seger, of course. You're going to hear me talk a lot about Bob Seger, but Bob Seger, Bruce Springsteen, John Mellencamp, and Tom Petty were our 4 main artists for this course. And I really wanted the students to get an understanding of area and region. And when we look at Heartland Rock, this really impacts the students in this area. A lot of my students are from small towns. A lot of them come from working class families, blue collar. And so I thought this will be really fun, especially at WT with us being strong in ag and engineering. This would be a really fun class. So that's how this one evolved into what it is right now.
It was great to talk to the kids yesterday, and we're talking about the big 4. Let's see, Bob Seger and Bruce Springsteen and Tom Petty and John Mellencamp. And really what we're going to do Saturday night this week is feature the guys who influenced those guys. Although at the end of the evening, we'll play some Bob Seger and some Bruce Springsteen because they definitely had some music from the 60s and 70s.
Right.
But it's got Ike and Tina, and it's the band. I've got some stuff by Robbie Robertson and those guys, and Bob Dylan, and lots of Creedence Clearwater Revival is going to be our jumping off point, I think, for this week's Saturday Night Rock and Roll show.
Oh, I love it. I love all the artists. And one of the things that I noticed with the students is they really are yearning for more musical influences. So several of them have said that they've already put some of what we call the founders on their playlists. And so we're talking James Brown, Little Richard, Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly. A lot of them through our evolution looking at rock and roll, they're just fascinated that these songs exist, and they're like, we want more of this. So really, even though we studied those 4 as our primary, it's opened the doors for a lot of other artists to come into these students' lives.
Well, that's great, and that's kind of why we do the show on Saturday evening to remind people where all of this comes from. And so I'm looking forward to. I hope you'll give them a nudge, and maybe they can tune in and learn a little something on Saturday night, and you'll be on hand to talk with us about some of the songs we play, and I think it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I like I said, I'll say it 100 times. I appreciate the opportunity that you're giving me to actually make this class practical and applicable for these students. It's not like we're studying in a book some ancient history. Several of them have said, I'm listening to the Eagle, and I heard our songs, and I know we talked about that song, and I knew what the song was about. The other thing that I've noticed is several of them did not realize the artist who were responsible for these songs. So they recognized the song, but they didn't realize it was a Petty song.
Right.
Or they hear it and they didn't realize it was a Seeger or Springsteen song. So I have the Eagle. I have this living, breathing lesson out there on the airwaves where I'm like, just tune in and you can still be doing class while you're driving down the road.
There you go. I've been called a walking artifact before, and so we'll continue that.
I mean, you got to own what you got to own, right? So
There you go.
if it connects with them, you can be a walking artifact, a walking
Daniel,
encyclopedia of application.
I think it's great what you're doing. I really do. And it's another part of the Texas Panhandle where people are plugging young folks into this music and the musical heritage of the country. So keep doing the great work, and I'll talk to you again for Saturday Night Solid Gold.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel.
Bye-bye.